Now, the Pan-Northern Socio-Political Organization Arewa Consultative Forum has condemned the relocation of key departments of the Central Bank of Nigeria and the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria to Lagos by the President Bola Tinubu-led administration. According to the group, the relocations of the two agencies are a deliberate ploy to further underdevelop the northern region of the country. The CBN, in an internal memo, has announced plans to transfer some of its departments to Lagos State, citing congestion at the headquarters in Abuja. Also, the federal government announced the relocation of the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria's headquarters from Abuja to Lagos. The relocation was officially announced by the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, in a statement dated January 15, 2024, and signed by the Managing Director of FAAN, that's Mrs. Olubumi Kuku. We're now joined by Arise analyst Dayo Sobowale to share his perspective on these issues causing national controversies. Good afternoon, Mr. Sobowale. Thank you for being here.
It's a pleasure being here.
Now, what do you, of course, always great to have you. What do you make of these claims that the relocation proposal is a ploy to underdevelop the North?
It's just a provocative statement by the Arewa Youth Forum. And it's born out of arrogance and ignorance, both combined. Because Nigeria is a federation. And they are talking as if the North owns Nigeria. It is not done. Don't do things like that. How did we get to Abuja in the first instance? It's to placate the North or to make the capital accessible to the rest of the country. And it was set at the center, what was perceived at the center. And those who took that initiative then were Southerners, in fact from the Southwest. Dayo Solari and one chief judge of Ondo State at that time. And even we in the South were literally annoyed with them. But we knew they were trying to achieve some balance and fairness in the way the country is being run. So for these people to now come now, at this late hour, be branding decentralization of offices of federal institutions for efficiency, for them to now brand it as underdeveloping the North. It is not on. I want to put it mildly, it is not on. The North has been in power more than the South. You get me? What have they done to the North? But you see, we are talking of a federal capital. Lagos remains the commercial capital of Nigeria, whether people like it or not, because it's a coastal city. The ports are here. The ports are here, people come to work here, and the railways are there to bring goods from the north so that they can get into the Atlantic Ocean, and we do international trade, and we all share the proceeds. So for them to come now, I think they are still under the syndrome born to rule. Get me? By which they mean that the North runs Nigeria. The North does not run Nigeria. That's a very unfair statement. And maybe they should learn some contemporary economic history. Brasilia is the administrative capital of Brazil. But Rio de Janeiro is still there as a commercial capital. Bonn, in Germany, used to be the capital of Western Germany. From 1949 to 1990, the unification of East and West Germany. And you see, the East said they wanted Berlin back as capital. Because Berlin was the capital of Germany until the war broke out. First World War, Second World War. And German cities were demolished beyond recognition, including Berlin. But when the unification came, they went back. Bonn is still there. There are still some federal ministries in Bonn. So life is a continuum. If the CBN, to improve its efficiency, wants to move some departments to Lagos, what's wrong with that? That's decentralization. You can even move them to Kaduna or, to the Southeast. If he thinks that those departments are able to function efficiently in that environment. So it is not on. It's like a spoiled child carrying over, afraid that his toy will be removed. They should not be taken seriously. Government should just go ahead with what it deems fit. It's like saying you have the headquarters of Nigeria Ports Authority in Abuja. Where is the water? Where is the marine life in that vicinity? It's a distraction. People should just ignore it.
Okay, Mr. Sobowale, so when we look at the term operational efficiency, I'd like to take the example of FAAN, for example. So FAAN was moved to Abuja just 3 years ago, and now we're seeing it being moved back to Lagos. So it's almost understandable when people want to read political undertones into it. What's your take on what looks like a power play happening between Lagos and Abuja? One administration moves FAAN to Abuja, the next comes in and moves it back to Lagos. How do you interpret this?
Look at the exigencies. It is the exigencies that have emerged that are making these things happen. The issue of insecurity is there. People are being kidnapped in Abuja right at the doorstep of the legislature. But you see, if you want to really practice a democracy, a federation in a democracy, which is what we are supposed to be, you can't move the presidency from Abuja. You can't move the Supreme Court from Abuja. And then, of course, the legislature is there. But there are some functional entities that have more business in Lagos, more business in Ibadan, more business maybe in Calabar than saying there in Abuja. So it's an administrative exigency for operational efficiency. I don't see it as a power play. Although now, because of a Lagos man is there, it's easy to read meaning into it. I want to hear. But Lagos remains the eternal commercial capital of Nigeria. Abuja or no Abuja.
So taking FAAN to Abuja in the first instance was a mistake?
Thoroughly mistaken to have been done in the first instance. I think they wanted to put, I think MPA2 is at, you see, we are asked, okay, digression. Some of us Southerners, when they said we are moving to Abuja, in fact, they wanted to force all banks to have head office. I was in the bank then. I was scared silly to live in Abuja. But when we went there, and I saw the bush inside where they say our plot was, I knew in my heart that I was retired by the time they got there. Get me? So maybe that's the frame of mind of the young Northerners now. That, hey, maybe they will not come. They don't want to come to Lagos. But Lagos is part of Nigeria. We went to the north. We did national service in the north. I remember when I was going to national service, I came to Lagos and I was going back at Jeba, at a police post. They asked me, where are you going? I said, we are going to Madura. I said, you are going to the far north. I was scared silly. But I did my national service and I'm still in Nigeria. And I'm still very, very proud to be a Nigerian. So let them learn to be Nigerians, first and foremost.
Well said. Of course, Mr. Sobowale, for those that might, be into the bandwagon mentality and look at what the ACF is saying and find reason with it, how do we deter this from becoming a bigger potential problem than what it is right now?
By doing what I'm doing now, you get me?
Yeah.
Discouraging them and deterring them and telling them to be realistic and be Nigerians, first and foremost. Nigerians should be able to function anywhere. Maybe it was a sense of equity on the part of Tai Solari and those who formed that capital relocation committee. It was a sense of equity that made them to look, okay, we go into the heart of Nigeria. It was a jungle. See how much has gone into it. Nobody can remove that. When they remove, see, we made a mistake in the past. There is the federal secretariat at Ikoyi. There are so many massive buildings here abandoned because of the movement to Abuja. Nobody said they will commit suicide there. You get me? So that's reality. Life is a continuum. You get me? And we are evolving as a federation. If they keep on talking like this, we will end up as a confederation. See United States of America, 50 states. When they want to get touchy with each other, they will say these United States. But when they are together, they say the United States. We are like that too. Maybe we will become United States of Nigeria. if they have this sort of attitude. But it should not be. It should work together and be realistic, pragmatic. When exigencies come, we face them as one nation, not threatening one another. It's not all.
Now, you picked on a very vital point earlier that I'd like to elaborate on. Something that people are calling the Lagosialization of government agencies. Now, of course, you've already highlighted the fact that Lagos is a commercial capital, so it's a natural place for government agencies to operate. What needs to be done for us to get to a place where these agencies are not just being moved to Lagos, that they're moving to Calabar, they're moving to Warri, they're moving to various places around the country? Very briefly, as we just have 1 minute left.
I just mentioned it.
Yes, you just mentioned it. So I'm saying, what needs to happen?
Nature of their businesses. You see, the goal is to achieve efficiency, get me, and good management. So you deploy your resources in a way that you save costs and benefit from your environment. Good leadership managerial skills will dictate what you say. You get me? For people to, you cannot say because Abuja is, see the cost of locating to Abuja, see the wastage that resulted in Lagos as a result of moving to Abuja. So let people be realistic and be patriotic and treat other Nigerians with respect.
Very well said. Thank you so much, Arise analyst Mr. Dayo Sobowale. It's always a pleasure to have you. Thank you for joining us.